Hi everyone, how are you all? Welcome to a new topic in our English class in the e-learning platform. Today we are going to discuss a new topic from your textbook. It is the 100 Dresses Part 1. In the story, we are going to see about a Polish immigrant girl who came to America with her family and the problems she had to face while attending her schools in America along with the rich American children. So she used to go to school in her poor, old, faded dress. She was very calm, quiet, and very silent girl. Because of her appearance and because of her silent nature, the other children used to make fun on her, used to mock at her, and laugh at her. So, this story, we are going to see how this young girl able to manage those rough and hard situations and able to win the hearts of other children by her talents and abilities. This is all about the chapter. So, are you all ready to start the lesson? Yes, then let us start now. The first paragraph. Today, Monday, Wanda Peronsky was not in her seat. But nobody, not even Peggy and Madeline, the girls who started all the fun, noticed her absence. Usually, Wanda sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room 13. She sat in the corner of the room where the rough boys who did not make good marks sat. The corner of the room where there was most scuffing of feet, most roars of laughter when anything funny was said, and most mud and dirt on the floor. Wanda did not sit there because she was rough and noisy. On the contrary, she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all. And nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud. Sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of smile, but that was all. So, dear children, here in the first paragraph, we can see that the writer is starting with the key character of the story, Wanda Peronsky, the Polish girl. So the writer says that in that 2 days, nobody in the class noticed the absence of Wanda Peronsky. Nobody knew that she is absent for 2-3 days in the class. Even the two girls, namely Peggy and Madeline, who used to make fun on her, also did not notice her absence in the class for the first few days. And again, the writer continues that because Wanda Peronsky, she used to sit in the last row of the class, along with the academically dull students who used to make a lot of funny things in the class, used to laugh, roar, make a lot of noise in the class. She was sitting in among them. It was not because she was a dull student or she was a noisy student, but because she did not have any friends in a class in the front rows. And she was very calm and quiet. She herself selected the last bench. Nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in that seat, unless it was because she came all the way from Boggin's Heights, and her feet were usually caked with mud. But no one really thought much about Wanda Petronsky. Once she sat in the corner of the room. The time when they thought about Wanda was outside of school hours, at noontime when they were coming back to school, or in the morning early before the school began, when groups of 2 or 3 or even more would be talking and laughing on their way to the schoolyard. Then sometimes they waited for Wanda to have fun with her. So here the writer says that nobody knows the exact reason why Wanda selected the last bench, why she used to go and sit in the last bench. So there are wide guesses that she used to come from Boggin's Heights, a dirty slum area, and the way was so dirty. So when she come to the school through this dirty way, normally her feet gets so dirty. So that may be a reason she is going and sitting in the last bench in order to hide her feet from other rich and posh children. But nobody knows the exact reason. These were all only guesses. Inside the classroom, no any children were looking at Wanda or giving any kind of attention to her. But it was outside the classroom when children coming out after the class hour or during the noon time or in the morning early just before the class hours, when they are just out of the classroom, then they remember about Wanda. It is not for helping her or chatting with her, but only for making fun of this poor girl. So they come in groups, 2 or 3 or maybe even more. They used to come and surround Wanda for making fun on her. The next day, Tuesday, Wanda was not in school either, and nobody noticed her absence again. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Mary, who sat down front with other children who got good marks and who did not track in a whole lot of mud, did notice that Wanda was not there. Peggy was the most popular girl in the school. She was pretty. She had many pretty clothes and her hair was curly. Maddie was her closest friend. The reason Peggy and Maddie noticed Wanda's absence was because Wanda had made them late to school. They had waited and waited for Wanda to have some fun with her, and just she had not come. They often waited for Wanda Petronsky to have fun with her. The next day, Tuesday also, she was absent in the class, but no one noticed. Then again, it was on the third day, Wednesday, when she was continuously being absent in the class. This time, these 2 girls, the other 2 girls, namely Peggy and Maddie, these 2 girls who often used to make fun on Wanda, noticed that she is absent in the class. This Peggy and Maddie, they were very popular girls in the class, especially Peggy. They were sitting in the front row among the good students of the class. Peggy was coming from a very rich family, having a lot of different varieties of colorful dresses, wearing every day, and she was looking very beautiful too. Her close friend was Maddie. So one day, means especially this Wednesday, when they were going to school, they waited on the way for Wanda Petronsky. It is not because joining with her or talking a friendly talk and all, but to have some fun with her, to tease her. They were waiting and waiting and waiting, but she did not come. So, because of her absence, they noticed that she is absent in the class, and they both, Peggy and Maddie became late for the school also. Vanda Petronsky, most of the children in room 13 did not have names like that. They had names easy to say, like Thomas, Smith, or Alan, and so on. There was one boy named Bounce, Willie Bounce, and people thought that was funny, but not funny in the same way that Petronsky was. For the other children, even the name of Vanda Petronsky seemed very strange, because for them all of the American children, they all had very easy names like Thomas, Smith, Allen, etc. There was only one boy with little bit long name. It was Willie Bounce, but that also not so strange like Vanda Petronsky. So her name was also a reason for making fun at her. Vanda did not have any friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that did not hang right. It was clean, but it looked as though it had never been ironed properly. She did not have any friends, but a lot of girls talked to her. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard as she stood watching the little girls play hopscotch on the worn hard ground. Here is a new word for you, hopscotch. It's a game with children hop into and over square marked on the ground. So here in this paragraph, we can see that Vanda, she used to come to school and go back from the school all alone. Means she did not have any good friends in the school. But many students used to talk with her in the school for the purpose of making fun on her or simply insulting this poor girl. Vanda, Peggy would say in a most courteous manner, as though she were talking to Miss Mason. Vanda, she said, giving one of her friends a nudge, tell us, how many dresses did you say you had hanging up in your closet? 100, Vanda would say. 100, exclaimed all the little girls incredulously, and the little ones would stop playing hopscotch and listen. Yeah, 100, all lined up, said Vanda. Then her thin lips drew together in silence. What are they like? All silk, I bet, said Peggy. Yeah, all silk, all colors. Velvet too? Yeah, velvet too. 100 dresses. Vanda would repeat solidly. All lined up in my closet. Then they would let her go. And then before she would go on very far, they could not help bursting into shrieks and peals of laughter. Some days, after gathering around Vanda Petronsky, the other girls used to make some certain questions on her in order to insult her or make fun on her. So when they ask, they will ask in a very respectful manner so that Vanda should not feel any insult. So one of such questions was that one day they asked, how many dresses, Vanda, do you have at home? They asked it because they know Vanda is coming to school every day wearing the same dress. They knew that Vanda is having only one dress. Even after, they want to make fun on her. So that is the reason they are asking to Vanda, how many dresses do you have at your home? So even without getting much perplexed or getting much confused, instantly the little girl Vanda is giving a reply that 100 dresses. They could not believe their ears. They again asked, all different. Yes, she continued. Yes, all different, colored, different styles, made of different stuff. And she went away from there. Even before she go further, the other girls who knew that she is telling lie, she does not have any other dress other than which she wears, they start to laugh at her. 100 dresses. Obviously, the only dress Wanda had was the blue one she wore every day. So why did she say she had 100? What a story. How many shoes did you have? Did you say you had? 60 pairs, all lined up in my closet. Cries of exaggerated politeness greeted this. All alike? Oh no, every pair is different, all colors, all lined up. Peggy, who had thought up this game, and Maddie, her inseparable friend, were always the last to leave. Finally, Wanda would move up the street, her eyes dull and her mouth closed, hitting her left shoulder every now and then in the funny way she had, finishing the walk to the school alone. So Wanda knew that the others were asking her in order to insult her or make fun on her, but she did not mind it. She used to give the same reply again and again. The another question was that asking about the number of shoes she had. Here also, without getting much perplexed, she used to give the proper reply that 60 shoes. The listeners could not believe. They again asked, all are same, alike or different? So she answered that they are not same, all are different styles made of different stuff, and they all are lined up in my cupboard in my room. And Peggy and Maddie, these two girls, they were the last to leave Wanda Petonsky. They used to make fun on her continuously till she's moved towards her house.